Hey everyone, I want to encourage you to pick up the true name of Yeshua HaMashiach. The true name. Okay, now all the other names are great, a lot of them. Okay, and they don't mean anything negative necessarily. Okay, but they're all speech pathology renditions or counterfeit names to the true name, which is Yeshua HaMashiach, which says true miracles. And every letter has meaning, and because of because of the Father in heaven, and because of His sacrifice, that name has true power. So let's say even one letter of that name can do a physical miracle. Okay, so imagine all of those letters, spoken as one. Okay, no other name has the power to save. Now, what I also wanted to tell you, I saw this and it was like, I was like, ooh. No, this is not to be condemning, because this is just a speech pathology issue that got spread across nations. Okay, so there's two main names that are being used: Jesus and Jesus. Okay, Jesus has sus, which has a root word that means pig, and Jesus was actually the Greek name that the disciples approved of. That's what I say is speech pathology. It's not, I'm not trying to condemn anyone, but it sounds like Zeus. But it's not Zeus. It doesn't mean Zeus. And Jesus doesn't mean pig. You see? So I think what it is like a precursor or pre-warning for what is to come to the nations. Okay? Because if they do the host in the name of Jesus, which has the root word pig, that is a sign pointing to the abomination of desolation, because Zeus and pig were the main issues with the abomination of desolation. So the third temple is being rebuilt. So that was not what they're talking about, okay? But Mother Mary told me it will be on me if I don't tell you. Okay, and so I wanted to tell you guys, because one thing I was like, I don't want to scare people, I don't want to shake the boat, people are still doing miracles in the name of Jesus, and when people go up to heaven at NDEs, they still use the name Jesus. But what helped me, because I grew up with the name Jesus, I switched to the name Yeshua. People say, I can't pronounce Yeshua, it's just like saying Joshua with a Y, okay, Yeshua, Joshua, Yeshua, Joshua, you see? We didn't pronounce it. Now especially the English countries. Now I want to promote Hebraic to English masses for the country, because at my church we do every language. For my confirmation in my church, we use every language, and I love that everyone's using every language. So I don't want to hinder anyone or cause them to stumble or anything. But yeah, so that's what I wanted to share with you guys. Now there's no condemnation for those in Messiah, Yeshua, Yahushua. Both of those names have the full tetragrammaton in the name, okay? Both the short form and the long form, okay? So I wanted to just let you guys know that, okay? And both of those names are holy versions of the Father's name, okay? Love is all saving. And he hasn't been damning people for using the wrong name. So I wanted to encourage you guys to pick up the true name. And then one thing she told me is when people go up to heaven and they meet Yeshua, they usually tell him his name, like, oh, you're Jesus from the Bible. They say, you're the God of the Bible. He says, yes, I'm the God of the Bible, okay? He's not confirming, yes, that's the name I want you to call me. He's saying, yes, I'm the God you read about in the Bible, okay? And then another thing, there are no vowels in Hebrew. So he could go by Jesus in heaven without the vowels in it, because JSS. It's the same pronunciation without the weird vowel in it. So if you need healing. Like, let's say you have autism, or like me, I had ADHD, which is considered slightly on the spectrum, and I had mental health issues, and I'm getting better and better every day. I had stumbling block because if I got scared, I would cling to that old pronunciation. So the old pronunciation, so what they said to me is just take the vowels out, and the enemy cannot hurt you. Because I was like, oh, I used it again, I would get really upset about it. I used it again, and I would get so upset about that. But it's just take the vowels out. There's nothing left for that enemy to hurt you with, because it's the same pronunciation and the vowels are taken out, okay? So I don't want everyone to freak it out, but if you want the true resurrection, healing, and miracle power, when you speak the name, use his true pronunciation, meditate on the right spelling, and read it and write it every day. In the book of Enoch, they said people will be very close to the Father who meditate on his names, all of them, day and night. So I want to encourage the meditation on the names. And don't condemn each other if you use the wrong names, and don't put each other in fear over this stuff. Because he's been saving people a long time, and he's not a condemning father, okay? He's a merciful, loving father, okay? So I pray everyone will be well, healed, and whole. I know that if I don't share this, I could get in a lot of trouble not sharing this. But I thought I was being paranoid, but it's not that big a paranoia is the problem. So I want the shift. It's just don't condemn each other. That was all speech pathology issues, okay? It's just like names, people not being able to pronounce it. Because I have an autistic little sister, she could not pronounce Yeshua, but we worked with her every day until she could do it, okay? So don't make a lot of excuses about not stepping up either, okay? So, all right, love and blessings, everyone.